out and having a little bit of an issue with my key fob, which just needs a new battery, but I need to get my pin and all that set up, so we'll deal with that in a bit. For right now, headed out to Perdue Stadium to do an Indian demo ride. So I'm really excited about that.
Hello and welcome. This is Deb, otherwise known as motorcyclemommom. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. And if you are returning, welcome back and thank you for your support. As you can see, I am at Perdue Stadium, Shorebird Stadium in Salisbury, Maryland. There will be, or is, depending on when you're watching this, another video all about the vendors and the goings on at the stadium, but for now this video is about my Indian demo ride, specifically the second of them. The first bike that I took out was the Springfield, and there is a video all about the Springfield, the demo ride, and my thoughts about the bike. This video is all about my demo ride on the Super Chief Limited. So I want to be careful not to repeat too much of what is in the other video, so please go take a look at that one too, because there are some other things in that, and give a little bit of background and such. But there is a story that I didn't share in that one that I want to share in this one that happened on the way out to the stadium in the morning. So anyway, something I didn't share in the other video that could have been just absolutely catastrophic for making these videos was that within about 2 miles after leaving the hotel in the morning, my camera mount broke. And my camera was on the camera mount because I was videoing going out to Salisbury. I have two camera mounts on my bike. One is on the front right handlebar and the other is in the back, mounted like between the bike and the saddlebag. This morning I had the camera mounted on the front of the bike. Again, only about 2 miles into the ride from Ocean City out to Salisbury, Maryland. I'm just riding down the road, enjoying the beautiful morning, a bit surprised that we were basically on schedule, even though I had a whole key fob issue in the morning. Anyway, on schedule for like the time that we wanted to be heading to Salisbury, thinking about the demo rides, and I might have been a little bit nervous and a whole lot excited, but just happy to be on the bike and enjoying life. Then out of nowhere, something is falling straight towards me, which can be a little surprising on a motorcycle. You don't want things like that to happen. So I quickly realized that it was my camera and the pole, and it lands like on my tank and into me. So it's safe. It could have, went under the bike in front of me. It could have flown past me. So the fact that it came down like straight into the tank into me, like a tree falling, kind of thing, I was just very lucky in that I realized what was going on and kind of protected it. Like my arms just being on the handlebars sort of protected where it landed at. And again, just really lucky about that. So I kind of immediately signal to Ed to like pull off the road, and I'm leading, so he kind of gets the hint as I put my turn signal on and waving my hand and all of that. And I make my way over from the left lane into the right lane, and then I was lucky that there was a road like leading into a development, so I was able to pull on that road, and then it was really wide, so I pulled off to the side there, so we were in a nice safe place. Ed's thinking that something's wrong with the bike because of the issue I had with the key fob at the hotel, but no, the bike's just fine. I show him what happens. He got off of his bike and came over to take a look. The piece that actually wraps around the handlebar had simply failed. It just kind of disintegrated in a way. And as soon as he touched it, it just broke completely. No good, no fixing it. It was just done. The good thing is that the camera, again, was perfectly safe. The lenses were not damaged. The pole was fine. I do carry an extra pole just in case, but I don't have an extra 360 camera. Those are not cheap. I would love to get a second one at some point, but not ready for that yet. Anyway, we placed the damaged mount in my saddlebag, and Ed remounted the camera onto the back camera mount for me, so at least we had that, and that camera mount actually was easier than the one that we would have been using for the Indian demo rides anyway, but it ended up having to be the one that we used. Like I said, it would have been anyway, just easier to remove and replace and a little bit more solid, obviously. But I took a moment to realize how incredibly fortunate I was that the camera didn't again go flying down the highway and just get completely destroyed. Not only would that have hurt financially, but it really would have put a damper on videoing Bike Week. So I was a lucky, lucky lady. And if you watched the video of us coming into Ocean City, you'll know I already had one close call with the camera because silly me thought that I left it sitting on the seat on the bike when we went to check into the hotel. Luckily I didn't, and I had locked it in the saddlebag, but just in that moment of getting luggage off the bike and getting ready and checking in, I kind of had a panic once I got into the room and didn't remember that I did secure the camera. So second time of little panic in 3 days. 2 panics, 3 days. So I guess that's not too bad for me. Anyway, getting back to present time of the video, a little bit more background first. So in the Springfield video, I talk about registering and getting ready for the demo rides and a bit of the background of how we ended up deciding to do this, and also deciding that we needed to be there first thing in the morning. So again, check out that video. Now, really back to this one, I swear. I selected the Super Chief Limited as my second demo ride. It has the Thunderstroke engine. The sticker says that it's designed for adventure. It has a touch screen, which is really cool. It has that old school look, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But when you actually look into it, you realize it's all digital and touch screen and does a bunch of different things. The gentleman demoed some of it to me, things that I wasn't going to use on the demo ride, but it was great to know that it had that ability. It has a 4-gallon tank, so a little bit smaller than the Springfield, but also a bit lighter than the Springfield, coming in at 714 pounds. So to be honest, before I looked up the weight of my bike, and I kind of knew what my bike weighed, but I wasn't really paying attention to that at the moment. I was just enjoying riding the bikes. This one felt lighter to me, and I'm not sure if that's where center of gravity was or what exactly the reason for it, but it felt fun. I don't know how else to explain that. I'll try in a minute, but it, again, almost the same weight as my Softail. It felt lighter and easier to maneuver. So if you're curious, the MSRP on this one's $21,499. So seems like a decent price point to me. It does have other features, but again, I'm going to direct you back to Indian's website for those. Not doing an India commercial, just telling you about my experiences. So at this point of going into the second ride on this bike, I was already familiar with the differences in the turn signals and the controls on an Indian versus my Softail. I have a Heritage Softail, Harley-Davidson. So I knew the 11-mile self-guided route. I was comfortable with that. I wasn't going to miss the turn this time. And just in general, more comfortable than I was on the first demo ride. The police officers that were sitting at the kind of the entrance or exit of the stadium probably were really getting a laugh out of me, because the first time I'm like, oh, this way are the cones, that way are the cones, like, where am I going here? By this point, I knew where to go. I just waved and kept going. And the same thing coming back in, I knew where I was in the line of traffic and how to get back into the stadium. So just in general, none of that anxiety of where am I going to go on the side of all these crazy cones. So it just, it made it easier. So, not that there was any issue with the first ride, but I had that initial experience completed and, again, ready for a new one. This bike, again, being a bit lighter, I felt like I was able to really lean into the curves a bit more. And in general, I just had fun on this bike. It was just, I felt like, and hopefully this makes sense to you guys, I just kind of felt like I could bounce the bike around, from side to side and move with it. And it felt comfortable. I don't want to offend anybody with my comparisons, but this is kind of what we do as humans, right? We find a way to compare something new to something we already know. So I'm going to talk about what I know, my Sportster and my Softail. But again, I felt like I was able to move the bike around really easily, like I can my Sportster, and just kind of boom, 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 back and forth. But there's a bit more meat to it. So for that, it was more like the Softail was for me. And again, this bike has like an old school or retro look and feel to it, but it has the modern touch with the controls, and it's got a whole bunch of other modern conveniences, including USB ports and all of that good stuff. So I would consider it the best of both worlds. I liked both bikes, and there's things I liked more about the one than the other kind of thing, but they were just both fun. So Ed took the Indian Challenger Dark Horse out for this ride, which I just love the name. I automatically like the bike because the name. He rides a street glide, and he selected bikes that are most like his current bike, the same as I did with what I selected to ride. So he enjoyed both rides, and he liked both of the bikes too. That's for him to say. I'm just kind of, overall feel, but he can maybe at some point fill everybody in on what he thought specifically. But his first ride was on the Chieftain Limited. And just as a note for those curious about the MSRP on the Challenger Dark Horse, in the Storm Blue that you see in the video is $31,999. So he was choosing bikes that were 10 grand, basically more than bikes that I was choosing. But that just makes sense for he's 6'2", almost 6'3", and I'm 5'5" and a half. So we're not going to necessarily pick the same bikes, though. Looking back, I really wish that I had went ahead and done one more demo ride on the Chieftain Limited. So next time I get that opportunity, I'll definitely be doing that. And I've said this a couple times, but I don't want to repeat myself from the Springfield video, but this part I think deserves repeating. I just want to talk about the staff. So they had asked both Ed and I like what we currently ride, and then they knew enough that they were able to explain the differences between the bikes that we ride and the bikes that we were taking out. And I just really appreciated that, because they were able to, they showed us all the features, but they were able to really concentrate on those things like, hey, you need to know there's a difference in the turn signals and things like that, that just help make that demo ride that much more enjoyable, because we were prepared with those differences, and also made it safer. It was good to know. So I just want to say the staff, absolutely, they were simply awesome and really helpful, and helped make the whole experience terrific. Also, I think I mentioned in the beginning, but it was an 11-mile guided route, and it included, as I'm sure you see at this point, a bit of 2-lane highway each way, and then back roads with a few nice curves. So it was really a perfect mix. Whoever figured out the route did a great job with that. I would love to know in the comments if you ride an Indian motorcycle, or if you've ever done a demo ride of an Indian or any other motorcycle at like a bike week or rally or otherwise, or just, what would make you want to do that? Or if you don't, why not? So leave a comment and let me know. Again, if the opportunity presented itself for another demo ride of this bike, or the Springfield, or really at this point any of the other ones, I would certainly go again and be very enthusiastic and not have that anxiety that I might have had a little bit, just a little bit this time. So I am really glad that we decided to go back to the stadium and do the demo rides. Again, they were so much fun, and definitely not hesitate to do it again. Great experience. And I just want to say a special note to the ladies watching this. If you're like me and thought that you wouldn't be comfortable on a bike that was not your own, my advice is to just do it. Believe in yourself and your skills. It'll probably feel a bit awkward initially, but honestly, by the time I just rode around the parking lot to get out and kind of got out to the main road, I was good. If you pay really close attention in the video, that initial getting out of the parking lot and just getting used to the bike and the clutch and everything, and how it's different. Yeah, it was a little wobbly here and there, but it really wasn't bad. And so you will probably feel a little bit awkward, but you will quickly adapt and enjoy the new experience. So I want to go ahead and wrap up by saying thank you. Truly thank you for watching this video. If you have not yet, please do subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing, and it means so much. I mean, so much for the growth of this channel. It only takes a quick click, that's all. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like or thumbs up button too. And thanks again, and until next time, be safe and keep life shiny side up. Take care.